We're back with our second series of the day for the Heroes Global Championship EU edition. We have the wonderful Playing Ducks facing off against the good guys today. And I gotta say, yesterday, the good guys, they came out and they swang, man.
I am hyped for this one.
As you should be. I think it's gonna be a good one.
This one is gonna be good.
It's gonna be a great one. I hope you guys are excited for it. The good guys, expecting them to come in yesterday against Dignitas and just be shut down. I'm expecting like a 3-0, and they said, no, we actually are pretty good.
Again, I said it yesterday, I talked to them just before the match, and they said, yeah, most likely we're going to lose this without taking a map, but we're going to work hard to make the best happen. Maybe we can take a map that would be great for the standings if we can take to, oh my god, the dream. And they looked at times as if they could win the series. It was insane. Even they were surprised, and that was just a great showing. So I am all for today's match against the Playing Ducks, because the Ducks, in some of the games, they looked fantastic, and in others a little bit weaker. So this is one of the series that will tell us a lot about both teams.
Yeah, they're still working on their synergy with the third one. Let's go ahead and check out the standings now to see where our teams are starting to hit. As we've got a few games down the road here, so we're starting to see a clearer picture of where our teams are at. At the very top, we have Fnatic, Team Liquid, and Team Dignitas. That looks pretty normal. And then Playing Ducks, Tricked Esport, Team Expert in the middle, and our new team, Zealot and Team Good Guys, not quite breaking in the middle of the pack here, but Zealot's looking great. And Team Good Guys, even with their 0-2, do have moments where I am very hopeful for them.
And again, when we talk about the good guys, the one thing we have to point out over and over again is that they formed just shortly before the playoffs of the HGC Open Division. And keep in mind, when we talk about the Open Division, anyone out there can participate in the Open Division and try to aim to play in the HGC. So you can always go to the website and check it out right there. But that's something that they did. It's a lot of experienced players that came together, but they formed the team just a few weeks before the playoffs started, and they were able to participate in some of the Open Division tournaments. They won, qualified for the playoffs, made it through the playoffs, and now are in the league. But it still means they are the youngest team that we have in the league. So they still need a bit of time where they can just say, hey, we need the synergy coming together. We need to make sure that everyone is on the same page, that we know how we can just best help each other in those fights. So at that point, they are losing the games right now, but they are growing fast. And that's what we saw from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah, they're a bit of a middle of a summer right now before they become well done. So let's go ahead and check out the schedule for today. What are you guys going to be able to see if you're looking for more HGC action? Later on, North America's coming at you with Superstars and Even in Death. Then Team Freedom and Team Neventic will end the day. But for us here, the Playing Ducks versus Team Good Guys, the second match that we're going to be watching, it's going to be a good one. I'm actually very excited. I think this is the most hype map of the day for me.
Yeah, it's really interesting when we're talking about hype matches, since a lot of people are only looking towards the big 3 names. You look for Dignitas, you look for Fnatic, you want to see Team Liquid play. But if you follow the league closely, it's oftentimes the matches in the middle that are also equally exciting.
Exactly.
Simply because it's so close, and you want to know how good are the teams that just pushed into the HGC? How do they shake things up for the standings? And
it gives us benchmarks. Like, it's exciting to see where our teams are currently at. Like, this is where this team is at, and we can see a clear difference between this team, and then here's our top 3. It's exciting. And speaking about exciting, we have our teams talking about this match coming up, and they have some words to share.
This week we're gonna have 2 matches, one against Team Dignitas and one against the Playing Ducks. It's a new patch and we want to bring our best, but we focus on the matchup against the Playing Ducks more because they're a direct opponent to us. Basically, we want to show those boys that we're capable of doing something, and the other teams that we're capable of winning games, and they shouldn't take us on the light side.
Like, the last weekend was kind of a bummer for us. I don't think anybody in our team expected to go like 3-0 against Zealots, but we happily like reverse sweep tricked with 3-2, so we were happy about this result for sure. I think the Good Guys as a team are like the least experienced team right now, because they have spent the least time as a team together, and they have like 2 players like Kronos and They, who were never like on the offline or on a really competitive stage, like Raid Boss or BKB or Anti-Hero. Like, those are all veteran players who had spent a lot of time. So I guess this gives us an advantage, and I think we will have a good chance of beating them.
Strong words. Wolf Joe talking about onto Hero and Crew. Are you okay? You good?
Anti is such a meme lord. It's insane.
But here's the thing. It's coming out here, and this is time for it's their time to show up, right? The Playing Ducks is a team that they feel is beatable and can put them on the standing the scoreboard. So they're coming in here, and while we do have meme moments, they're very serious about this matchup.
Yeah, they are. They have practiced for this a lot more. In the first week, they said we didn't get as much practice in as we wanted to. A few of us were sick, and that was even a bigger problem for us. They got shut down hard by Team Liquid. At the time, everybody still assumed that Team Liquid was struggling and wasn't able to really break into the big three again. But that has changed rapidly after they took victory after victory. And now we are in a situation and we're still thinking, okay, who has this? Are the good guys a team that can take down the Playing Ducks, especially after the Ducks lost to Zealots?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's something we're going to find out now, and I'm hyped for it. So
Let's
get the
time
show
to battle.
started.
Let's figure out where we're going for game number 1. The Playing Ducks have elected to move into Towers of Doom. And the good thing about here the Playing Ducks is in phase number 1, they were pretty open about their position. There's like, hey, we're a team that's here. We're just hoping to make it to the middle of the pack. From there, we can evolve and hopefully continue to grow in phase 2. It's phase 2 time. It's time to see this group of people and this new member they brought onto the roster and watch them grow and move up. I want to see that Playing Ducks that is comfortable and confident in their play. I would argue in phase 1 they were way too inconsistent.
Yeah, consistency was something that they struggled with. It also felt in phase 1 that they were highly depending on Sport Billy to make plays on some of his key heroes. But they always showed that they have the potential. And if they can unfold that now in phase 2, that would be fantastic. But with Eternal, it's also just a new player coming in. So that can give you a boost, especially at the beginning. You always have that honeymoon phase when everything just seems to click. But then at some point, you have to make sure that that synergy is consistent. And that's what they have to prove right now. And it's going to be an exciting game. TGG, this is, by the way, also a map where especially Playing Ducks have excelled in the past. They love Towers of Doom.
They do love their Towers of Doom, and Team Good Guys is keeping Sport Billy off of that Medivh. Felt a lot of Medivh bans today with ADRD and Sport Billy playing.
Yeah, I like it though. I think it's a really good ban at this point, making sure that the Ducks are shut down right here. But we also have an Oriole taken early on, so working towards the double support. It's a big part of the meta right now. It's extremely strong in Europe. North America, not so much just yet, as we've seen yesterday in the games that we had, especially Tempo Storm playing against Gale Force Esports. So Europe a bit more focused on that double support. But how are the Ducks going to react to it?
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the Playing Ducks are going to run this way. With Uther being banned, Team Good Guys in all of their drafts either got Uther or Ariel. That was the plan. They definitely want to have that support foundation. With Uther not being here and Ariel being picked up for the Team Good Guys, Playing Ducks, I want to see their adjustments. Do you go full on in? Grab the Anubrek and set yourself up with an assassin that you know is effective? Or are you going to try and match Team Good Guys with the remaining supports that you have?
Yeah, also, if you are looking at the Oriole as a first pick, of course you kind of know what you want to heading into. But think about what they give up. They give up Genji, they give up the Anuburak. They have so many heroes that excel here. Even an Abathur that could be taken.
And you have to think about the Illidan too.
Exactly. So there's immediately the Abathur and the Genji locked down, which actually gives the good guys a chance to move into Anuburak after all. And I would love for them to do exactly that. Take the Anuburak right now. Question, of course, is will you have problems towards the second support if you do it? Let's say, for example, you want to play the Vala with a double support and you are not picking up your support now, you're going into Anuburak and Vala. Then the Playing Ducks can ban out one support, they can pick another, so you are stuck with one of the third options and you have to really think, okay, is this going to cut it for us or is that really going to shut down our plans to an extent where we can't follow through? So we might actually see them prioritize other heroes, letting Anuburak slide for now and then ban him out to deny it to the Ducks.
And they do. This is what they pulled off yesterday. The moment the opposing team picked up Abathur, they picked up Illidan and Tassadar, and they were fine with it because they knew after going through the ban phase, there was a good chance they could still get a hyper carry in some way or some form. And they grab the Illidan Tassadar, so they're set up there.
And the Ducks are actually thinking about banning out the Vala against them, simply because Oriel Tassadar are fantastic to support Illidan, but also a Vala. So if you have two that they can focus on, it's fantastic for them. The good guys will still need something in the backline to dish out the damage. Oftentimes you see a Liming being played with it because you attempt to poke from a distance. Illidan confirms the kill, Liming gets the reset, and then just repeats the same thing. But I would say for the good guys, a ban on Nubarak would probably be a really solid moment.
See if they go down that route. There's still a possibility of what we've seen from the Ducks in the past.
You could also just ban out a support. If you fear that Rhaegar would be a bit too much of a problem here for you, can ban out the Rhaegar, force the Ducks into either Brightwing or into the Karazim here. There's a few options that they have, actually. Personally, I would be too much afraid of the Anubarak. I would not want to play against the Cocoon. Tassadar can burn down the Cocoon for sure, depending on what else they get. If they, for example, aim to pick up the Li Ming, they can use Disintegrate against the Cocoon. That would work as well. But we have seen so many strong plays around the Anubarak that it would worry me personally.
I don't know if the good guys are worried about it, though. In their draft trends already, I know we have a limited sample pool. They let the Anubarak go multiple times when they have the Tassadar available on their shield. I feel like they're going to go for an Assassin or a support route that you mentioned, and they pick up the Greymane ban. So there it is.
Greymane is also a good ban because he's a great copy for the Abathar. Again, it comes down to what do you value more. I think for the Ducks, a pickup on Nubarak would be great. But let's see what they say. Maybe they are just saying, hey, against the Illidan, we prefer a different hero here. We would like something that can just simply lock him down harder, go into maybe an Arthas that is a lot more dominant at this point in North America than he is in Europe. But we are still playing him here.
Double tank options available. Variant still floats around. Can be good against Illidan, but there is the thought of, okay, can I actually taunt that Illidan and get him killed off fast enough? Will Genji bring it? Not quite sold on that one.
Yeah, I don't think that you have the burst damage to capitalize on a taunt against the Illidan. If that was a Tracer, I think your chances are a lot better. But in this case, I don't think that Varian would be the one to really counteract what the good guys are planning here.
This draft is exactly how Team Good Guys handled yesterday's draft that came their way. The Anubarak and the Rhaegar does get picked up. And yesterday, when Team Good Guys had this lineup, they moved straight into Stitches and Lunara.
Okay, I want to have... Lunara is a good point. I was about to say I want to have the Li Ming, just simply to burn down the Cocoon. That would be one of the biggest thoughts on my head, on my mind right now. But the Lunara is a very good point, and you're right. They're going into the exact same draft they had yesterday. So they have the Stitches with it. So it's identical. It's the same draft they used. And this was the Cursed Hollow draft, right?
This is the draft that they shut down Big and Toss in Game 2.
Exactly. So the Cursed Hollow draft was really solid from them. Lunara is going to have a lot of room to play with here. I could have definitely seen the Li Ming. Against the Anubarak, I would have liked that, but they have a preference for Lunara that they showed in the past, and it works well for them. It works really well for them. If I'm not mistaken, Raid Boss was playing Lunara, and he had a huge impact on the game with Anti-Hero providing the space because he was just such a huge force on the Illidan up front. So I like this. Say probably going to be on the Tassadar.
Question is, what does Ducks move into? They need damage. They've ran Tychus, Li Ming in the past as options that are right way. We've seen Jaina a long time ago, but from the hero pools that I recognize and I remember, I'm not seeing an option that pops up immediately here for the playing Ducks.
I would say a top laner. Maybe even a Sonya.
Yeah, Sonya could work out.
Sonya could be something with the Abathar support, Rhaegar and the shield, but they go for the Malthael. Okay, so we have top lane Malthael being played here. I would say without Malthael being in the game, Sonya was very likely, since we are looking for a hero that Eternal plays, and Sonya stands out on this map. But right now, Malthael can definitely be an issue. Anti-Hero already played again with his Illidan against the Malthael.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was on this map. I think it was Infernal Shrines.
And he did well with it, surprisingly. It felt like Illidan, you play around the invasion constantly, you just keep up those cooldowns and you keep going in. Eventually you wear down that Malthael. Also, Lunara being on the opposing time makes Malthael have a harder time. She's so good for being able to kite him. Even when he goes in for the engage, he's able to bound away and stop the auto attacks. This is a bit of a hard draft. I actually look at the Team Good Guys, and I like what they walk away with, especially after seeing them run this composition yesterday.
Yeah, I like the Good Guys draft as well. Anti-Hero loves to play as Chen. He's really strong in it. He has a really good support lineup behind him. Raid Boss, when he is left alone on the Lunara, can do absolutely fantastic. The Stitches is a nice addition. You will most likely see them head into a build around the Slam, going into the Pulverize on level 16. If they feel the only way, if they are behind and they think the only way coming back into it would be a Hail Mary approach, then probably Fishing Hook is going to be the pickup. But overall, Stitches is just flexible enough to be played as the solo frontliner here, together with Illidan at his side, having the double support, getting the additional slams in, slowing everyone down. So I like that draft a lot, and I'm still not quite sure how strong the Ducks are at this point. So the first game is going to tell us a lot, especially since we've seen this particular draft of the good guys go up against Dignitas, so it's going to be a nice benchmark.
I hope it's a good one, because right now, just knowing the Ducks from what we saw last week, I am scared for them, and I want to get rid of that fear for them. You know, I want to actually have them as a strong contender for me here in HGC Europe. Let's go ahead and get it figured out. Game number 1, Towers of Doom. The good guys taking on the Ducks.
Game number 1 between the Playing Ducks and the good guys. And once again, we are seeing to the left, in blue, the Ducks with Sport Billy on Abathar, with Wolf Joe on Rega, Nando on Uberag, Genji, played by Chris, and Malthiel, played by Eternal.
The good guys on the right side. Here they are in the red. Raidboz on the Lunara, Antihero on Illidan, Zay on Tassadar, Kronaz on Oriel, and BKB playing Stitches.
BKB on the Stitches here, so we're gonna find out if he can connect those hooks, but even without them, Antihero alone on the Illidan should be able to really get some momentum going for the team here. It's what Illidan really thrives on. But still, this is going to be a very interesting match. I'm so hyped for this. Good guys against the Ducks. This is going to tell us so much about the standings, and it is a fantastic benchmark for both of these teams. So far, the good guys haven't taken the series in HGC yet, but they looked strong against Dignitas, and that, of course, gives their fans a lot of hope for this particular match.
Agile dismount picked up here for Genji, so looking to gank pretty often, especially on that top lane. Hopefully, maybe one to help out Illidan against the Malthiel, and right now, Antihero is actually doing really well against the Malthiel. Goes in for the engage right away, but this is where Malthiel can take the advantage, the moment that evasion goes down.
It's not the moment that evasion goes down. He's cheating. He has an Abathar.
That is cheating too. No one notices Abathar, let's be real. The game's been out for 2 years. I just realized he's part of the roster.
I'm looking at it and I'm seeing him chunk down. Antihero doing really well at first, and then the Abathar comes in. Talking about doing really well at first, that looked like the good guys could drive the agenda in the mid lane, but it ends with Lunara falling. Bambi is dead once again.
Gotta be careful there. Nande coming in with the engage, Chris bringing out the nice damage from Genji, but Wolfjo in particular, those bites, this can be really effective against Lunara. Her health will be incredibly low.
I'm actually really surprised that you're disrespecting the Abathar here. I would have said that you are one of these guys when you help out with an Abathar and then all of a sudden you kill 3 and the guy's, oh, I just won versus 3 to everyone. You're like, excuse me?
Excuse me, sir? Did you not realize that I had you? I mean, yeah. I mean, lately I've just been edgy trick, you know? I'm just going to try and go down this path and repeat the branding.
I like edgy trick.
Yeah.
I think edgy trick is a lot of fun.
Illidan edging out to Eternal, falls out, gets picked up.
This is not a good start for them at all.
I think this is something that actually was going to happen pretty decently. Even with the other pick here for Abathar for the Playing Ducks on the left side, they still have some decent early game damage. That Rhaegar, the Anurex setup as well. Genji does well on the Agile dismount when he comes in. So there was going to be some kills, but the picks are being a little bit more plentiful than I was expecting.
Yeah, I have to say that the kill against Illidan surprises me, because Antihero just needs to be aware that this Abathar is going to jump on the Eternal quite a fair amount. So I was a bit surprised that he died, because that is something that he usually accounts for. When he's streaming a lot, and you can really hear on his stream, you can hear his thought process. He shares that oftentimes and says how he approaches a certain matchup. And normally, this is something that he really figures in. We're having also another death of Bambi. So Lunara died twice now. Still an okay exchange when it comes to the altars. We should have tried to go for 2 since the opponent has the Abathar. But of course, Illidan died at a bit of an unfortunate moment in time there. But right now we have 3 kills against 0 on the board, and that is definitely not what the good guys were looking for when they started this game.
Yeah, the Ducks are just running things much more efficiently. Nice pick up here from Nande as he moves in. Can Eternal get the harassment he wants? Missing out on the E, sadly here. Won't be able to move in, but still, Antihero having a hard time in that top lane. And the Ducks, they're a full half-level lead ahead of their opponents.
Yeah, half-level lead is definitely annoying, but it's not too much yet. So they're not really snowballing yet. And at least at the bot lane, the good guys have taken some towers and structures off. So it's not that they have been just like completely bodied here the entire time. Anti needs to move away here. Eternal will definitely be headed by Abathar any second up at the camp. But for him, it's a really tricky lane to play right now. If you are in a solo lane where you already have a bit of a tough match and then an Abathar can jump in, then you find yourself in trouble. This is why it's up to the rest of them, to the 4-man, to really just put a note on there and saying, okay, we can push through the lanes now.
They're doing okay here, pushing in the middle, working on the bottom, losing out in the Sappers exchange. They were willing to move in for the invade, but the Ducks do a solid job of controlling that area. In fact, they're looking to invade their opponents. They move in, but with a Wisp coming out, they're going to go ahead and take a safe route, pull away from their opponents, and wait for the Sappers to apply pressure.
Also, in the tradition of having more or less a double support, Abathar is going for the shield build here now. The level 7 talents are definitely helping the good guys. The Splintered Spear on Renara alone is great. We have also the cooldown reduction for Oriel. So there's a lot that comes together here. And once that Illidan is able to join the fights, he will also receive the shield from Tacita. So everything that we've seen so far is not quite an indication of the team fight potential yet. And this is where the good guys excelled against Dignitas.
I do like the Mule pick. Typically, I don't think you want to go Mule on Towers of Doom. It's hard to get value, but you look at the composition that Team Good Guys has, and Illidan floating, or Illidan can go on top of a fort and a bell tower and be pretty effective, but Lenara isn't the straight DPS machine you stick a Vala. Hang on here with anti-hero. Being focused down, does get out. Hook over the wall, though. There we go.
Bodied.
Team Good Guys getting their first kill. Lenara's not someone that, like a Vala, sits there and just shells away on your fort. So they actually have to commit to the fort idea. But if they don't, your Mule will always get value on this battleground. I like the pickup based on the composition that Team Good Guys has.
It's actually interesting because I thought about the Mule earlier and I'm not really sold on it.
Yeah, I sold it initially and I was like, not so much. And I was like, you know what? Really? Lenara's not going to sit around a bell tower the entire time for the most part. If you're able to continue to control well in the fights and you do sustain damage with that Malthael, you're able to kind of shell them away from your bell tower and even clear it up. If you can control the mercenaries and they have a Rhaegar here and a Malthael, you should be okay.
I mean, you have to commit, but with Illidan, I always think that if you are able to really go into the fight, you want to commit to those things. So they could definitely get the value here. I don't think there's a right or wrong. It depends a lot on how the game flows. And so far, we had the playing Ducks with a lot of momentum in these fights. They've been doing really well. But the level 10s are going to be really telling because that's when the team fighting starts and when we will see both of them commit. For anti-hero, we should probably see the Hunt just to have the pseudo-global on the map. It's the current meta, and I'm really happy about it since Hunt is a lot of fun to cast and to observe.
Oh, it's also really fun to hear that you are not prepared as you fly across the map. Just full lore appropriate hits that fantasy, just all in on the Illidan life. Now 10 for 10 for both of our teams. Playing Ducks has started to group up in the bottom. I'm watching Malthael in particular because they look like they may want to hop on the Stitches.
Yeah, and Stitch just makes the rotation, and it is a dangerous one at that, and they are jumping on him indeed. He tries to get away, moves to Anti, in comes the Hunt. Cocoon is being used too. Can the rest come in for the shield? That's the question. They try to get their kill, but they can't. The shield is there, the Aegis as well. They save him.
The Cocoon actually hurting the playing Ducks there. I would have Cocooned the Illidan, killed the Stitches, and then turn around for the fight. That allowed Oriel to rotate in as well as Tassadar and just make sure they could save him.
Even not cocooning, anyone would have killed Stitches. You could have just held it back. So I think he either panicked or misclicked and wanted to hit the Illidan and just had a panic moment.
Yeah, but you lose cooldown value if you don't use it. It's really important to have your cooldowns running on those abilities.
Okay.
BKB on the bottom right taking damage here. Dragon Blade popping out. Sport Billy going forward here with Chris, and they're looking to get BKB. Can they get it? No!
Genji.
Hero shows up, and Genji falls.
Genji falls, and they are once again in a decent spot here. So we have currently 28 versus 28 points on the core. The Force Wall has been used, but Nande still had the Burrow charge, but they will get this in the middle. So the team fight potential already showing for the good guys.
Yes, the good guys bringing it back here, taking a nice little lead, 28 to 24.
Coming back to your cooldown moment, I oftentimes don't know when you're memeing, by the way. I look at you and you have that grin on your face, and I'm like, is he being snowflakey or is he just memeing me?
You'll never know, man. That's the power.
I know, it's so hard.
That's my my superhero power. Snowflake all the time.
Turn on the snowflake at the push of the button.
Well, Team Good Guys are going to start pushing in the bottom, and this is where the playing Ducks need to get that Mule value. The Sappers are running in, and Nande and Crew need to make sure they slow down this push. And if you ever do see Mule on the opposing team, you need to be willing to commit.
Exactly. That's the moment you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You control the Sappers, and now the good guys are actually pressured because they have to think, hey, if we don't go for the fort now, they're just going to mule it.
And Eternal is going to take the opportunity to rotate in. He goes in, applies the damage here. BKB in the front, but Anti-Hero charges in. Wolf Joe is low, and Wolf Joe is down.
Wolf Joe down, threw out the Ancestral before he fell. He knew he'd die here, but we have a 5 versus 4, and this is something that the good guys can push now if they wait for the copy of Genji to just simply get away.
Expire, yeah.
Expire,
Mason falls
thank you
down
very
there.
much.
I got you, man.
Then they can take down the bell tower, and that's what they're doing now. So they go in, they commit. Abathur is not going to get the mule value on this structure, but that is the good guys completely stepping it up compared to the early game that we saw.
And this is where we have the doubt about the mule. If you're not able to hold that bottom foundation and you lose out on a team fight, I like the initial idea from the playing Ducks. They set up, they moved forward, they were willing to fight. But with Antihero coming in with that Illidan, the Hunt, and killing the Rhaegar, they lost all ability to control that area. And effectively, Mule is not effective as a level 7 talent. At that point, you just want the damage.
Yeah, and currently we are having Illidan just simply moving up to the top. He's getting ganked now by Nubarak, who moved in, waited for the rotation. Malthael is jumping in too, even with Abathur, but it looks as if Antihero is able to get away once again. So he is soaking the lanes here. He's getting the value out of his Hunt. And in the meantime, we are having the rest of his team controlling the bot lane quite nicely here. They are 7 shots ahead on the core points, and we're also seeing them with the level 13 talent, picking up another ult, another 5 shots fired. I have to say it again, I said it yesterday, and I'm just putting it out there once more. I believe against this team, we're going to see a lot of Illidan bans very, very soon.
Yeah, it's got to become something here. At least those type of split pushes that are coming in, Team Good Guys are just being very effective with it. Look at them. They move in, they grab the altar, and they set up here on the bottom left. And they do what we've done in EU for so long here. They set up and control the area. Wolf Joe gets landed with a hook, and poor Wolf, man, he's not having a very good day.
No, he definitely does not. He's always the one picked upon. And Illidan still getting the XP in the middle. And that's a cool thing about Illidan. They have the global, more or less. They can simply hunt in whenever they want to. Banning out the Haka really works out for them now.
BKB, man, moving in here, bringing out the hooks, lands another one there. The Ultimate Evolution clone is available, but it gets cleaned up instantly here. And Force Wall keeps everyone at bay. The Sappers moving forward. A Nubarak even taking damage.
Yeah, Nubarak taking damage, and the Zappas are going through. All 3 of them. They're getting 3 shots in.
Team Good Guys, the moment they hit level 10, and that failed kill in the middle seems to have been the turning point here. They found some momentum, they found some confidence, and they're moving forward with it, keeping up with it. BKB is just throwing out lasers right now. He's hit 3 hooks in a row.
Yeah, more zappers, and they just try, it's rinse and repeat. They're going to the bot lane again, they're saying, you know what, we have got 3 through, let's go for the next set and make that happen as well. As long as there's no altars on the map, we are completely happy to do that all day long.
And this is where you normally need that kind of range damage that can poke from afar and be pretty safe to follow his leanings and such. Look at the playing Dogs composition. Who here stops his push from coming in and at least puts enough pressure on the opposing team to make sure that they can't sit here and do something?
Now, the important part about this is also that the entire time the Ducks have committed more and more resources to the defense of the bot lane. And that means that Illidan is just having a happy time moving from the mid lane to the top lane, getting experience, pushing the lanes out, and just preparing for the next altar. So this is absolutely fantastic for them right now. As you can see here, 12 points on the core against 28. They jump on Antihero again. Again, they can't lock him down. And we have a triple altar on the map. At least one is going over to Team Good Guys. They have 5 bell towers. That's 5 shots fired. If they get 2, they are putting the Ducks on 2 points on the core.
Antihero goes in on the Malthael, going to start trading out the damage here. The cleanse has been used by Wolf Joe. The bell tower at the bottom has been left alone. We can maybe have Abathur rotate down there with the Hunt being down, but here comes Rhaegar taking damage, getting poked.
Yeah, they're going for Wolf Joe once again and trying to get him. Antihero moves in. Does he get the kill? Yes, he does not. Wow.
Wow, barely getting
Surviving.
out there. Ancestor healing hitting too. Eternal hoping to turn this around. Is this the moment for the playing Ducks? Everyone on Team Good Guys is pretty healthy.
That was actually I'm a little bit disappointed of how they played this, because I think they should have at least channeled through the altar down in the middle. I think the thought process here was really, let the altar go. If they grab it, that's fine. We are going to take kills, and from the kills, we're going to grab another bell tower instead of the altar. So they traded 2 against 1 of the altars. They will get the boss thanks to level 16 talent. That puts the Ducks still way, way behind there. If they grab it here successfully, but they should, since Genji isn't here yet.
Or Billy's going to go ahead and beat Malthael as well. They're going in here. This is that late game scenario where Malthael can be effective, but if he falls, he's not effective, and Malthael, the fake one, will be taken out. Eternal, though, the real one, is getting choked. Raid Boss moving in. Wolf Joe low 2.
The Raid Boss is just chunking away, and this is the same problem that we saw just yesterday on the side of Dignitas. Illidan is in your face, and he just screams at you, deal with me. And as long as you do, Lunara in the back can do whatever she wants. Unfair advantage as a level 13 talent, the Putrid Bile slowing everybody down, and Raid Boss is just getting in the damage the entire time. It's crazy what he can put on the board at this point.
Can they keep it up? They only do so for 3 more shots towards the core. They're actually moving into the bottom left bell tower. They're going to hope to break it down and ferry these sappers straight into the core. The Flying Ducks will have to bring everyone down here to make sure they're set up for defense.
37,000 damage on the side of Lunara here already. She's the one dealing most of the damage at this point. No one else is even close right now. And we are only talking about a 40-minute game, and they started team fighting only after 10. Once again, Ducks are starting to engage here. They need to make something happen. The stasis on Stitches, saving him as Chris jumps in once more. But BKB is still extremely low. Ancestral goes through. Raid Boss with a poke. Genji already down, and Illidan is focusing on the next target.
Heroes on the backline destroying everyone he can. Wolf Joe gets picked off. Raid Boss with the auto attacks as well. The Sappers started to continue to move forward, but they were cleaned up. But here is the nail in the coffin. Altar to the very far south, available for free pickup.
The good guys moving in right now, dropping the force wall and starting to dance here as well. These guys are partying hard. And of course, also the spray game is on point as the good guys take game number 1 against the Playing Ducks in convincing fashion on Towers of Doom.
A hard start there on Towers of Doom, but the good guys always win in the end. They get the victory on Towers of Doom. I do like that the Playing Ducks went in for a hard engage in the bottom left. They were in a spot where they had to make something happen. Sadly unable to kill that Lunara. The Pulverize, a level 16 in particular, kept Lunara alive, allowed for Lunara to keep bringing out the damage, the unfair advantage, destroying everyone in the way. And Anti-Hero was in the back line, just completely uncontested.
Illidan is going to get banned. Illidan is going to get banned, picked away, or shut down in some other way. Because I don't even believe that Lunara is necessarily the crucial point. The synergy between her and Pudric Bile on Stitches, with Lunara picking on 13 unfair advantage, was fantastic. And she got the damage out that she wanted.
Yeah.
But I personally believe that if you don't give them Lunara and they take a Vala instead, or any other hero, they can still do fine. It's all about that Illidan just being in your face in every single fight and allowing the backline to do their thing, and then Illidan cleans it up. It was great play here from the good guys, but the Ducks are an experienced team, and I believe that they will be able to adapt. So you need to have more than only your Illidan strategy, and that is something that I want to see from the good guys. Are they able to do that?
Yeah, just have the response ready, move back forward. The Malthael seems to be having a really hard time in these compositions where he can't fully commit to the all-in and get in there and kill those back lines. If you have any type of control or type of slows or stuns or peels, it just seems like Malthael starts to fall behind, especially if the early game doesn't go well.
I'm not even sure if the Malthael was necessarily the problem. He still ended up being the highest damage hero for his team. It's just they never could confirm the kills. It was really good fight control that we saw from the good guys. And Malthael was struggling in a few of these fights, but I think the composition overall, once Illidan gains the momentum, it's really rough. And one of the heroes that had the most problem in the battles was Rhaegar.
Sure.
They focused so hard of taking the support out that you could oftentimes see Rhaegar knew he was dying, and he just threw out his Ancestral even though it wasn't really needed, because he said, I'm falling. You can't save me. I can't get away from this. I have an Illidan on me. I get slowed by a Lunara. Everybody focuses me. And once that the Rhaegar is gone, how are you keeping everyone alive? So I would say that it was rather the high priority in the targeting of the Rhaegar that put them into really bad spots. Also, BKB has been hitting some fantastic hooks here.
Yeah, he looks good today, landing those hooks here. Well, game number 2, which